In 2017, three guys started buying graphics cards to mine cryptocurrency. A few years later, crypto crashed. For most mining companies, that was a disaster. But these guys realized something. The GPUs sitting inside their warehouses could be used for something far more valuable: artificial intelligence. They pivoted. And that decision transformed a crypto mining operation into CoreWeave, one of the companies supplying the massive computing power behind the AI boom. While everyone else was chasing AI gold, CoreWeave started selling the shovels. So, how did a crypto mining startup become a major player in AI infrastructure? Origin: CoreWeave started in 2017 as Atlantic Crypto. Its founders Michael Intrater, Brian Venturo, and Brannon McBee weren't trying to compete with Amazon or Microsoft. They were mining Ethereum. And mining required something that would eventually become extremely valuable: GPUs. Lots of them. The company built up a large collection of graphics processors. But cryptocurrency is volatile. When crypto markets fell, the economics of mining changed. Suddenly, the company had warehouses full of expensive hardware and needed a better way to use it. That problem became the opportunity. Problem: the founders realized GPUs weren't only useful for cryptocurrency. They were useful for visual effects, scientific computing, machine learning, and eventually AI. At the same time, getting specialized GPU computing power through traditional cloud providers could be expensive and complicated. Amazon Oz, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud had enormous scale. CoreWeave couldn't beat them at everything. So it didn't try. Instead, it focused heavily on GPU-intensive computing. And when generative AI exploded, that niche suddenly became one of the hottest markets on Earth. Breakthrough. Then came ChatGPT. Almost overnight, companies wanted to build AI models. But AI requires an incredible amount of computing power. And the most advanced NVIDIA GPUs became some of the most valuable hardware in technology. CoreWeave already understood GPUs. Now it started building cloud infrastructure around them. Instead of asking, how do we compete with Amazon? CoreWeave effectively asked, what if we become really good at the one thing AI companies desperately need? GPU computing. And suddenly, the former crypto miners were sitting in the middle of an AI gold rush. Business model. CoreWeave's business is straightforward. Companies need massive computing power. CoreWeave builds data center infrastructure packed with high-performance GPUs, then rents access to that computing power through the cloud. Think about it like this. Building your own AI infrastructure can require enormous upfront investment. You need GPUs, servers, networking, cooling, electricity, buildings, engineers. Instead, a customer can rent computing capacity from CoreWeave. The customer gets the horsepower. CoreWeave owns and operates much of the infrastructure, and as AI models demand more computing power, that infrastructure becomes increasingly valuable. Explosive growth. Then the money started pouring in. CoreWeave raised billions in debt and equity to build more infrastructure. NVIDIA became an investor. Microsoft became a major customer. OpenAI signed a massive agreement with CoreWeave. And in March 2025, CoreWeave went public on the Nasdaq. Think about that transformation. A company mining Ethereum in 2017 was now providing infrastructure to some of the biggest names in artificial intelligence. And the opportunity is enormous. Companies are racing to build bigger models. AI startups need compute. Tech giants need compute. Businesses deploying AI need compute. Every new AI product ultimately has to run somewhere. CoreWeave is betting that somewhere can be its data centers. Risk/controversy. Building AI infrastructure is incredibly expensive. Data centers cost billions. GPUs aren't cheap. Electricity demand is enormous. And CoreWeave has relied heavily on debt to fund its expansion. There's also customer concentration. If a significant portion of your revenue comes from a small number of giant customers, losing one can hurt. And then there's competition. Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Oracle, these companies have enormous cloud businesses, deep pockets, and global infrastructure. CoreWeave is essentially betting billions that specialized AI infrastructure can compete against some of the richest companies in history. If AI demand keeps exploding, that bet could look brilliant. If spending slows, those expensive data centers don't disappear. What happens next? CoreWeave's future comes down to one enormous question. How big does AI become? If AI becomes embedded into nearly every business, application, and industry, the world will need extraordinary amounts of computing power. And the companies controlling that infrastructure could become the landlords of the AI economy. That's what makes CoreWeave so interesting. It didn't invent ChatGPT. It doesn't build the world's most famous AI model. It doesn't manufacture the GPUs. It simply recognized where the bottleneck was forming and built a business around it. During every gold rush, thousands of people chase the treasure. But sometimes, the smarter business is selling them the tools. And CoreWeave is betting billions that the AI gold rush is only getting started. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video and subscribe to Beyond the Brand for more stories behind the companies shaping the future. Because sometimes the biggest opportunities are hiding behind the brands everyone else is watching.